With that, we move on to the first panel discussion of the summit titled Smart Manufacturing, the Impact of Operations, Production, and Distribution with Industry 4.0. And first up, I'd like to welcome on stage the moderator for this panel, Ankur Goyal, Associate Director, India and South Asia at IBM Consulting. Kindly put your hands together for Ankur as he makes his way up. And now I'd welcome the members of this panel. Lalit Mishra, Country Director at Cognex Corporation. Can we have Lalit on stage, please? Kindly keep the applause going as I welcome the other members of this panel. Vamsi Krishna, Founder, Automobile, Atom, and GMD at Visaka Industries. Please put your hands together for Vamsi as she... Where's Vamsi? Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Sunil Mehta, General Manager, E-Factory Strategic Planning, Factory Automation and Industrial Division at Mitsubishi Electric India. Keep the applause going, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Prashant, Jagetiya, Head IT at Bridgestone Tyres. Welcome, Prashant. Thank you for your applause. And last but not least, Anoop Sharma, Head Manufacturing Excellence at Varroc. Welcome, Anoop. Ankur, if you have any questions for the audience at the end of the panel, kindly do so within the time that has been allotted to you. You have a monitor in front of you to help you keep track of time so that we can keep proceedings on track. Over to you, Ankur.
Thank you and good evening to all of you. Thanks to all the panelists for taking time to join this session. And I'm sure this is going to be one of the most interesting conversation. Yeah. And we'll be happy to answer any questions for the audience. Probably we'll open for the last 5 minutes. So Industry 4.0, right? This is a buzzword, I would say. Everyone is talking about it. People are talking about it, Industry 5.0 also. And I'm sure 2024, we come across 6.0 as well. So numbers will keep moving, but the point is, are we moving or are we not, right? Are we progressing as a country, as a manufacturing industry, as an industrial sector as a whole, right? Are we leveraging technology? Are we solving the problems on the ground, right? So I come from a technology industry, but I still feel the technology is just an enabler. It is a means to solve your problem. If you're not able to solve the problem, then technology is of no use. So it becomes very important as a first step to identify the right problem, right? If you don't have the right problem to solve, then probably you may not get the benefit. And then we hear a lot of companies saying that this whole thing doesn't work for us. It's just a jargon, right? And I'm very surprised and amazingly surprised during our conversations before this panel that all of us, all these gentlemen, right, from the diverse companies and industries they come from, they have been able to reap a lot of benefits out of this technology, right? So we will try to unfold and uncover this phenomena of Industry 4.0 today. So while you guys have heard about definitions and you have heard about success stories, we will try to go a little bit deeper in terms of understanding what is required to be a successful implementation, right? What is required to have a right approach, right? So probably I'll start with Sunil. So technology has been a great leveler, I would say. So 5-10 years ago, before the cloud and all these things came up, there was a lot of investment required in terms of on-prem setup, right? A lot of servers and everything needs to be set up. Now with pay-per-use business models, with the advent of cloud, I think the entry barrier to technology adoption has gone very low, right? So, but still we see that a lot of organizations are stuck, a lot of organizations are not able to scale, probably because there is lack of standardization, there is lack of a right approach to target the topic, right? So from your perspective, do you see any, I mean, you definitely would have done a lot of implementations. You see any patterns or any kind of approach that emerges from your experience?
Yeah, good afternoon. First of all, thank you for inviting me to join this panel discussion. My name is Sunil Mehta. I am part of Mitsubishi Electric, and I bring a Japanese perspective, and we called it as e-factory. And I believe that Industry 4.0 e-factory, or maybe smart manufacturing or digitalization, we talk about getting the data from the shop floor in a real-time sense to the ERP system. It could be SAP, or we have got Oracle database and all these things. So getting the data from the shop floor, and we have a lot of automation has happened in last 20 years. So people have implemented PLCs, HMI, variable frequency drive servo systems on the shop floor, and getting the data from this equipment is a basic job of digitalization. And once the data is available at the cloud or the server level, then you need to do the analysis. So this is the journey, as you correctly said in the morning, in the previous, your presentation, that it's a journey. And it's a step-by-step approach. When we say, when I work with MSMEs and automotive industries, basically what we try to say that we see that let us define the problem. What exactly you're looking for? Are you looking for quality improvement? Are you looking for improvement in the productivity? Are you looking for the energy conservation? How much energy utilized per component? So if you define the problems, then the solution and the integration and the system architecture can be defined and can be developed and can be deployed. And with the event of COVID and then Industry 4.0 and people are talking about, so the integration of IT and OT is becoming more and more powerful. And fortunately, we have got lot many industries, IT industries, IT engineers, who are now also understanding the automation. And integration of the PLCs and the HMI or the CNC controllers is getting very easily, the data can be made available to the server as well as to the ERP system. Another point is that when we talk about this type of digitalization or the solution, we talk about the legacy equipments. There are various machines which has worked for 20, 25 years and with the old controllers. And there is no, the Indian mentality, we don't throw away the machines because the machines are producing the component. Why should I throw away the machine? And getting the controller or upgrading the controller is again a challenge. So there are various solutions available where we can take the data from those machines also. It could be furnace or it could be old equipments, injection molding machines and so many things. So the getting the data from that machine is also possible by adding couple of sensors and adding small PLCs to get the data at one central location. So overall, things are improving. I can say that the e-factory implementation or Industry 4.0 or smart manufacturing, step by step, we can implement these solutions, and these solutions are scalable. This financial year, I have this much of budget, let's implement that. The very important points are we need to have a discipline, and we need to have all the stakeholders, including the operator, the supervisor, the maintenance people, and the engineering people need to be part of that journey. So they should not feel that, okay, somebody is taking away their jobs or something like that. So these are the points which needs to be taken care during the implementation of digitalization. Thank you.
Yeah, so thanks, Sunil. So to my sense, there are 3 C's. Anybody who is looking at Industry 4.0, there are 3 C's, right? Connect. Connect is where you connect your shop floor systems. Collect is where you collect the data, right? Bring the data on a common platform. And the third is consume. How do you consume the data? You visualize it, you do data analytics, and so on. If you have these 3 C's right, I think that brings the entire stack together. So thanks, Sunil. So Prashant, if I may come to you. So to my experience, auto has been always a leading adopter, right? And Anoop, you're smiling, I know this is gonna come to you as well. So automotive, the technologies are experimented. They're always first movers, right? And we see a lot of traction in India as well in automotive industry. Now, coming from an implementation perspective, right? As you lead IT at Bridgestone, what kind of projects do you guys run? You want to highlight some kind of a projects or use cases where you see that Industry 4.0 has benefited?
Yeah. So good evening, everyone, and thank you for having me. It's a nice discussion, and I think very apt we are discussing this. So, Ankur, just yesterday I was at the event. It's a annual conclave of automotive and tire industry leaders. And I was so happy and amused to hear that now Industry 4, these leaders are talking about AI, ML, and it's really, I was happy to see that how Industry 4.0 is no more a buzzword, but it has really become a priority into the business strategy. And one of the gentlemen, a key leader of a tire industry, he was also mentioning that he has made a strategy that he will keep aside around 10% of the capex, whenever he finalized for the digitization on shop floor. So we guys need not to sell anymore our digitization. It's already on top of the mind of the top business leaders. So it's now on us that how we convince them about the value realization. And that is what we try to do at Bridgestone. So for all digitization strategy and also for the manufacturing and Industry 4.0 digitization, we have a strategy of think big, act small, act fast, and start small. So with this strategy, we pitched the whole 3 to 5 year roadmap, strategic roadmap in terms of where we want to go for the next 5 years. But at the same time, we do not want to wait for the 5 years to the fruit to get realized, and also it is very difficult to convince that we start heavy investment now and the fruits will start coming from after 4 or 5 years, which is very difficult to convince. So what we did in the form of start small is we divided this strategic roadmap into various phases or the first phase was the quick wins. So where we need not to do heavy investment on PLC modifications or OT devices. Yes, it's a big challenge, but it's a big cost. And I can understand Sunil would not agree with me because I'm going against not changing the PLCs, but it's a big cost. And we really have to convince on the ROI that if I change a multi-crore PLC, really how I'm going to convince on the ROI. So what we did is we started with the no-code, low-code, cloud-based applications which can integrate with our existing legacy MES systems, which are based on the analytics platform. And another challenge which we had to face was the connectivity of collecting these data. What you were mentioning, one of the C was the challenge. So collecting those data from the machines. So we decided to create a platform and an integration between IT, OT device so that we can have those connectivity established. So once that connectivity is established, we can build on these small cloud-based applications for the quick wins, like energy efficiency, which is on top priority and can give a good ROI at a small investment. So we started with these energy-based smart energy applications. Then we are also implementing on OEE monitoring, which is one of the top priorities for the factory manager or for any operations director. How I can improve my efficiency, how can I improve my asset utilization. So these are some of the examples. We will be moving on how to analyze the cycle times and improve the cycle times. So these are the small applications which we have started building with low investment. But that's, as you said, it's a journey. So we are not going to stop here. We are going to further enhance our legacy APS systems and legacy MES systems. But once we start getting the fruits from these applications which we are applying now as a part of our Industry 4.0 phase 1. Another thing is important about the culture. So it's not about just digitization. So we want to create an atmosphere, a culture where the manufacturing teams are excited about these digitization rather than getting frightened by this. So we are creating the small teams, autonomous teams, which includes members from the shop floor. And we provide these digital tools to them. They can play with them. They can come up with the idea how they want to see the data. And it's really exciting for them also, and we can get a buy-in from them, which is very important. So these are the areas and aspects where we are working on. And I think we have done pretty well till now, and hope that we continue this journey going forward.
So you spoke about low-code platforms, right? Is it more of empowering the business users to develop, or is it about?
Yeah, so we are working on both aspects. One is, of course, giving some autonomy to the business users in terms of they can make their Power BI dashboards. We can provide them with the connectors, with the data sources. And then if there is something which needs to be done on integration at the OT, IT level, IT devices or OT devices level, we are including our IT teams to do that.
So I think this brings a very important point that the cultural transformation is very important, right? If it remains a technology project or a technology program that IT implements, then probably the adoption would be very low.
Right.
Right?
Sure.
So if you have citizen developers along with IT working as a cross-functional team, the program is more effective.
Yes, very well said.
Yeah, okay. So, Lalit, so you guys are into, the heart of Industry 4.0. Because in Indian enterprises, the data generation itself is a problem sometimes, right? And industrial automation is a very important piece. Because I always say it starts from lean, then automation and digital, right? So automation piece of Industry 4.0 that you look into, what is Industry 4.0 from your perspective for your clients, right? The second question is, there's a lot of talk around intelligence in cloud, right? Data analytics, implementation in cloud. You take everything to the cloud and then analyze it, create use cases around it. Do you see a traction around edge intelligence, right? Because one of the key pillar of Industry 4.0 is distributed intelligence. You should not take everything to cloud because it's going to be very expensive. It will have latency impacts also. So what do you see in terms of adoption with your clients, and how are you approaching this topic?
Thank you. I hope I'm audible right to the last bench. My name is Lalit. And first of all, it's so nice to be here back in offline sessions with all of you. At least there is no screen between us and myself here. So jumping onto the first question straight away, you're absolutely right, Ankur. We are at the heart of operations, production, and distribution with Industry 4.0, as the title of this session says. What we bring on the table is the world's best leading products on identification and machine vision systems, machine vision tools. I fondly say that these, we provide eyes to the robots so that robots could sort of look around faster and do the right thing in no time. If you look around, we've been present for about last 40 years or more, actually. And every year we've been coming up with best-in-class products. We spend a lot of money, actually, on R&D back in the US, where we have our products facilities. And if you look at it, our industry spans across any industry that actually is having a process of discrete manufacturing. So these could be straight away from, let's say, electronics, where the circuitry, for example, for your mobile phones is getting even smaller, right? And you need micron level accuracy for the robot to place the circuit on the display and so on, all the way to automobile, where you have each part that needs to go with a very precise manufacturing and so on. And I can actually go into very deep examples, but at the risk of boring you, I won't go there. So if you look at it, right in the core of operations, core of production, core of distribution, core of logistics, you need ID, you need you need reading systems, you need machine vision systems. These systems will collect a lot of data, and here we are talking about data, and I've been hearing so much that what data needs to do really, right? Go upstream, downstreams, make sense, all of that really. But what we are doing is we're collecting a lot of data, and this data is not just the digits really, these are images data I'm talking about. So what happens is, the more you collect this data, the more you teach the system to identify the defects even faster really, right? And you build better systems to sort of do a better reading in terms of, let's say, distorted images of your QR codes or your barcodes and so on and so forth really, to make sure that all the inefficiencies built in the production lines could actually be taken care by some of these automation best practices, right? So that's where we operate. And one other example that sort of comes to my mind is we are majorly going now into the packaging industry. When I say packaging, I mean pharma, I mean food products, and several others. And some of it is on the back of the fact that there's government compliance coming up, and India, as it becomes a pharma hub for rest of the world, we need to have better processes and better tools and controls to be able to produce the medicines for rest of the world really, right? And that's where machine vision goes in even more deep really. With that said, coming to your next question, and I'm trying to keep it very crisp, Edge, we have a beautiful platform on Edge Intelligence. What this actually does is allows you to connect multiple products, multiple scanners into one platform. You could start making a sense of a lot of data that is being collected right at the production floor, right at the shop floor. And obviously you have a choice of sending it all the way to the cloud or any of the downstream systems for further making sense, in your enterprise computing side. But a lot can actually be done within the shop floor itself, where the users can actually start to make decisions based on a very powerful dashboard that comes in, which tells you, what scanners are working at what level and so on, and how do you sort of make sense with all of the data that is being generated based on the images being read by these scanners and these machine vision systems really. So if you look at it, and these are, by the way, very easily configurable. These could be configured by the set of users. These could be linked to any browser. And largely we are sort of very communication agnostic really. So we are not talking about the 5Gs of the world, but anything that sort of that needs communication from our devices all the way to an industrial control system like a PLC and so on can be done, very rapidly right on the ground. So that's where, and my previous experience, I actually moved on from Tata Group to Cognex about a year ago. And back then I used to do what we call as a fringe IoT. And that's where some of the very interesting implementations to do with human safety for large, steel plants. And I heard your session, Ankur, and you were talking about a blast furnace having 1,800 sensors and each sensor generating a lot of data really, right? And and it reminded me of my good old days. But when I look here I have a machine vision which goes extremely deep into one vertical, generates a lot of data which then needs to make sense. Whereas what we've been talking about is a very horizontal layer since morning. So those are my insights, some of the ones, I hope it makes sense.
Yeah. So, Lalit, this is very important, right? I mean, unless we make sense out of data on the edge, right? This whole program cannot complete. Do you see 5G also accelerating this trend?
I would be honest here, we are not working directly on any of the 5G implementations, but there I see a layer in between. So, the more data you collect, the better communication and a faster communication methods, you would need to port that data back into cloud and bring it faster to your enterprise computing systems for management to take a faster decision, really, right? So I would like to architect it in a way that we are ready at the core level to generate that data very fast and even store it and pass it on to using a 5G communication method as you would like to.
So for the audience, there is something called as edge cloud, right? That is coming up now. The idea is if you capture this data at the edge, right, and over years it's going to become huge, specifically the videos and images. What if we can have like a cloud, a typical AWS and Azure kind of a cloud? Can we have a managed edge cloud, right? Where the data reaches to edge cloud. It's kind of a near premise data center, and the data reaches there on 5G network so that there is no latency. So it gives you edge benefits and it also gives you latency benefits.
Absolutely, and that's where we make a total sense and a total meaning across, cutting across really. What we have present as of now is a lot of data that is there in the edge intelligence hardware available. But then obviously over the period of time, you can archive it and you can collect it and start making a lot of historical sense as well.
Thanks, Lalit. This was very insightful. Thanks for this.
Thank you.
So Anoop, now coming back to auto industry, right? And you guys are at the heart of it, right? At Varroc, probably one of the leading player in terms of tier 1 components that goes into automotive sector. And from a manufacturing perspective, right, there is a very important piece of lean, the Six Sigma lean and all that has always been in picture. And now digitization and automation, I always say automation is industry 3.0, right? And digitization is now 4.0. And all of them go hand in hand. What are the key principles that you follow in Varroc for industry 4.0 programs, right? Is it a big bang approach or a pilot approach? How do you really address the topic?
Okay. Hi, good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me as a panelist, and it's really, really honored to speak with such a distinguished audience and co-panelist. So to answer your point, Ankur, we adopt a pilot project approach. We don't go big bang or such a huge project at a time, because as you mentioned, TOC, we follow TPM, we follow lean, we follow other manufacturing improvement tools. So to adopt those tools, I think first we need to understand what we want. As a company, what is the business objective? Until unless you know what is the business objective, I think you may be demanding something which may not relate into your immediate objective of business. So as a Varroc, TOC help us to define what is our business objective, what is our immediate one goal. So by that, then we form a team internally, because first you should know internally what you want, because there are so many technology available. But real success comes when people behind that technology ready to adopt that, ready to use that, and management feel that benefit of that technology. So with a sort of brainstorming, internal discussions, we form a first CFT. And we ensure what should be the CFT members' major 2-3 not to miss quality or say skills. So that for everybody's benefit, I can maybe share our what the thought we had in that at that point of time. The person first should be customer focused. He should understand what the customer want. He should be adaptable, because there would be a lot of challenges. People will ask, people will deny. So person should be little open-minded, understand, and ready to adopt. Third, he should understand the business, because business goal is making money. There's no second option of it. Everybody want to make money. Rather in TOC we call, personally I call, objective is to make more and more money. So not only make money, everybody has to make money. So if you are clear on those parameters, you're clear about the team members, then you need to pen down what you want. So we first pen down, make a detailed document what we want, then we decide the phase manner and who should be our partner, who should not be our partner, what we want, what we don't want. So with that, we implemented first traceability project, because recall is a major concern for automotive, any industry. If you have one recall, you are lost. So we implemented with that for critical products. Then we implemented OE, because every owner, every business manager, every CEO want to understand what is my real capacity utilization. And you are measuring a OE at a group level, at a plant level, it doesn't make any sense. Until you know what is my critical asset utilization is. So we go that way and we decide the projects, we decide the partner, then we implement across the plant. I think in time interest, I can be such brief. If you have follow-up question, I'll be happy to elaborate more.
Yeah, thanks, Anoop. So Prasad, so coming to a little different topic, and I think the whole world is talking about it, that sustainability, right? While we want manufacturing to be productive, we want increase in efficiency, but we want to make sure that this whole phenomena is sustainable, right? And you guys are at the core of sustainability in terms of your product portfolio. So for your clients, how are you helping them? That is question number one. How are you helping them with your portfolio to reduce the carbon footprint, right? And the second is, are you leveraging technology in your organization to optimize your production and supply chain processes?
Yeah, thank you very much, and good evening, everybody. I'm Prasad from Visaka Industries. This is a different subject from all the panel members are actually talking about the digitalization, IoTs, and 4.0 and 5.0. And at the same time, now all the business leaders, actually in India particularly, they are very much worried about the sustainable products to make. How to make the sustainable products and the strategy of actually business, how to implement this sustainable product actually process into the actually strategic decisions. So that is the actually main objective in the total actually business world now. Actually people are thinking about that, particularly Visaka Industries. Actually we are very much actually behind the sustainability. Sustainability is nothing, actually you have to save your earth or air or water. These two or three are the major actual issues you have to save for your current generations as well as your future generations. Actually, how to do that? Actually, we have started way back up to almost 10 to 12 years back. We have started our this journey, and we are breaking our process into small break pieces, and we are seeing the product life cycle assessment. That is cradle to cradle or cradle to grave. What is cradle to grave? When the procurement of raw material to the product actually usage and its life, and up to what level actually it actually sustains. After that, what is the actually impacts on the environment and all this. That way actually we are assessing all the products what we are making. Like that actually we are cut down our process how to actually make the product sustainable, and based on that actually we can reduce our the logistics cost also by locating strategically your manufacturing facilities where the raw material procurement is less, where the actually manpower availability is less, and the other facilities which for the for product actually sales and all these things. Actually there actually by seeing that all those things, actually we have developed so many steps. One first step like that is main thing. Actually we have ventured into atom roof, which is a building integrated actually photovoltaic. Building integrated means all solar modules actually you can see the conventional modules. It is different from that. It's a unique product. You can actually use as a roof. It generates the power also as well as both actually as well as roof as well as energy generating roof. You can utilize the payback for that also. You can calculate for the roof, and the efficiency point of view. Suppose if you see is almost all it is matching with your conventional modules, and there's no need to leave any space between the modules when you are going for a roofing systems. In conventional modules, generally you have to leave space for walking and all these things, for washing. So here, the per SFT or per square meter, suppose if you see, the generation will be very, very high. And we have started with the same BIPV product, we have started charging stations. In Pan India, EV charging stations, same atom product, that is this building integrated photovoltaic solar modules. We have installed almost 250 plus EV stations Pan India. The same solar modules will generate the power, charges the batteries, giving the actually charging for the EVs. Like that actually we have started. It can be customized, whatever may be based on the requirements and all this. We can customize whatever may be the space availability based on that. Like that actually one is BIPV, another one is EV charging stations. Third one is Atom Life. For the sustainable products actually we are searching all the total India where the sustainable products are, who are making and all. After searching, discussions and all these things, we are bringing to a single location in a physical form, in a physical shop, that is Atom Life, where actually we are putting all the sustainable products and it is available for the total market. Main focus is on the sustainability, how we are implementing and all this. Our companies are Green Co companies, Green Co certified companies, Green Pro certificates, LEED certifications are there, and IGBC certifications are there. All the products which we make are sustainable products. Actually, that's all I want to tell. Thank you.
Thanks, Prasad. So, gentlemen, before we wrap up, we will have a quick rapid fire round. I request your response in not more than 2-3 words, right? So whatever comes top of your mind, that would be your response. So, Sunil, key mantra to success in Industry 4.0.
Discipline and implementation.
Great, that's true in every part of the life. Okay, Prashant, key mantra for success.
So, as I said, culture and phased-wise implementation.
Anoop.
Collaboration.
Sorry?
Collaboration.
Collaboration. Okay. Vamsi. Sorry, Prasad.
It's a commitment.
It's a commitment. Great. Lalit.
I would only add consistency.
Okay. Okay. Any learning from past, something you could have done better in context of Industry 4.0?
Yeah, we did many jobs and we did implement it
2
in our own
words.
best. Any learning, more systematic approach.
Took long time in taking a decision.
That's interesting.
Would have started little more early.
Okay. Prasad.
Actually, this, please repeat your question. Please repeat your question.
You're learning from past, what you could have done better in Industry 4.0.
4.0, yeah, it has started early itself.
Okay. Never too late.
Work on the mindset of decision makers.
Okay. The last one word that summarizes Industry 4.0.
Smart manufacturing.
Operational efficiency.
Another change.
I'm sure it's not sustainability.
Sustainable because the product actually the panel is different.
No, please go on. What's the one word that summarizes Industry 4.0 for you?
4.5 is the digitalization.
Lalit.
Create more value for customers.
Great. So thanks, gentlemen. Probably if we have 1 minute, we can take 1 or 2 questions from audience. Any questions? Okay, yeah.
Please elaborate what you talked in earlier session, digital and physical.
So that's a shop floor to top floor integration, right? So we, in this panel, for example, spoke about edge, right? So the systems on the shop floor, the sensors in your supply chain, the data that comes from humans, that is physical, right? And the digital is the cloud, the data analytics, the digital twins, and so on. Marriage of physical with digital is how do you integrate it? It could be OT IT integration, it could be shop floor to top floor integration, or it could be creating a digital twin and so on. But the idea is this marriage should take the data from physical and realize the value in digital. Okay, so thanks, gentlemen. It was a very good conversation. Thanks for all your candid remarks, your insights, your experiences. I'm sure our audience will benefit from this. And towards the end, I would like to say that each one of us, in our respective enterprises, should take initiatives to drive this topic forward. Because this is not a function-related topic. This is not a role-related topic. Right? If you are in a technical role, you are in a business role, you are in IT, you are in manufacturing, supply chain, it's our responsibility to drive this topic in our organization. So with this, thanks to the organizers for giving us this opportunity, and thanks to all of you.